Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Sahaviram Karvavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. So we are starting chapter 8 today. And it's like a continuation of chapter 7. So there were 6 different terms that Lord Krishna mentioned. And he kind of flooded Arjuna with all those 6 terms. And Arjuna was like, what are these? He wants to know now. And I think Nikhilananji was mentioning that how when somebody asks a question, they are more alert. That means they're not sleeping. Yeah. So because you have to engage their mind and so it's like a trick also, so whichever way you want to look at it. And there in chapter 7, Lord Krishna has said that one who knows me, means Lord Krishna, Brahman, he knows me completely with all my aspects. That was the main thing. Okay? And then we know that know me as Brahma, that word Brahman, and Atma. Atma is when it is expresses through us. And then he also mentioned that he will know, this person will know me by all my karmas. And then there were 3 terms, Adhibhut, Adhidev, and Adhiyagna. We briefly discussed, but Krishna Bhagavan will be telling his own definition in this. These are like words that you can literally write a big essay on it. So we have to keep our thinking hat on, and it's a subtle subject, so we have to kind of grasp it slowly. Sometimes you don't get these words first time around, but as you stay with it, it starts sinking in. So that's how you have to look. But there's no like simple thing, because we are trying to get something which is indescribable, and they are trying to describe it. So keep that in mind. That's why you have all these bigger definition of all these words. And then he also mentioned in the last chapter that at the time of death, they know me also. What does that mean? He wanted to know. So when Arjuna heard this, he had like a doubt, and he didn't understand these words, and he was asking. And so it begins with his question for this chapter. That's the main thing, like a continuation. And then there are a couple of more points before we read and all. So here, what he does, Lord Krishna, that in the beginning of the chapter, he explains what the terms are in his own words. And then he also tells him the path by which we can experience him, even at time of death. So we have a chance till then. And so we have a lot of different things that we can do. And he gives a very simple path over here, and we have discussed it, but obviously coming from Lord Krishna's words, we will be seeing, more in detail, meditating upon it more. And then suppose a situation comes that somebody doesn't know him completely, because that can happen, right? I still don't know, I've not reached there. Then what happens to those people? What exactly happens after death, and where do we go? So there could be 2 scenarios. One is you get moksha, because but then one is you don't get. Then what happens? Everybody wants to know. So, and then, there was when we did the Kathopanishad, Nachiketa had asked that kind of question too. Hey, some people say that you are there after you die, and others, they're not sure. So what is the truth, right? So we also want to know that firstly, are we there? And if we are there, then where do we go? What are the different paths? So that's what he's going to touch upon in this chapter. And these things are analyzed in detail and very systematically. And then Bhagwan will answer Arjuna's question. So with that, we can do, I think we can chant the verse and then we'll read the introduction also, because Swamiji's introduction to this chapter is very nice. So now this is a good part about meeting in person. Everybody can chant together. Now you know the tune, right? So we'll start with Om Paramatmane Namah, because it's a new chapter.
Did you want to read the introduction? Or
We'll do the verse and then we will...
Okay, go back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Om Shri Paramatmane Namaha. Atha Ashtamo Dhyayah. Arjuna Uvacha. Kim Tad Brahma Kim Adhyatmam. Kim Karma Purushottama. Adhibhutam Cha Kim Proktam. Adhidaivam Kim Uchyate. So Kim is what? Tat is that. Brahma is here Brahman, same thing. Reality, truth. Kim, what? Adhyatma. We know what is little bit we discussed, but he's saying what is Adhyatma? Kim, again, what? Karma. What is action? Purushottama. He's addressing him, Purushottama. Oh, best among the Purushas. Purusha, I mean humans. Or best among everything actually. Adhibhutam. The word Adhibhutam we'll see. Cha is and. Kim is again what? Proktam. Declared. Hindi में बोलते हैं ना कि ऐसा कहा जाता है. That's what how people say this Adhibhut. ये क्या है? Adhidaivam. What is that? Kim, what? Uchyate is called. किस चीज को अधिदेव कहा जाता है? Like that. And then we are going to do two verses together because the question goes together. So the next verse we'll chant also. Adhiyagnyam katham kotra tehesmin madhusudana prayana kale cha katham yegneyosi niyatatmabhi. Sorry, I can't. You guys are doing better than me. Okay, so here. Adhiyagnya. So this is, yagna, North Indians ko sara malum hai, yagna, ahuti dena, like that. So one underlaying all sacrifices. Katham, how. Kam is who. Atra is here. Dehe, in the body. So in the body, what is called adhiyagna? That's what. Who is adhiyagna? Two words, questions are there. How and who. Both. Asmin. In this. Madhusudana. He is addressing him as, O destroyer of Madhu. Madhu is our vasanas. When the impressions that we have, because our own vasanas look in the beginning very sweet to us. Mujhe ye chahiye, mujhe wo chahiye. Usko Madhu bola. So because otherwise they'll say, why did they say कि मधु को destroy कर देना मतलब क्या है? Because it's a little confusing. So that's how it is. मेरी इच्छाओं को खत्म करने, that's how it's the Madhusudan word. Prayan kale is at the time of death. And this word is also very interesting, why they call it Prayan kale, but we'll see. Cha is and, Katham is how, Gneya is knowable. Asi is are you, niyatatmabhi, by the self-controlled. So we'll do a little bit more and then I'm kind of jumping back and forth, but that's okay. So Arjuna, before we read, I'll say a few things from Nikhilanandji. So he's asking this question and he was listening very attentively, obviously, but he didn't have the full clarity yet, Arjuna. Didn't understand everything. And what Nikhilanandji was saying that unless we really churn upon these words and understand them completely ourselves, we won't understand, what it is. So that's why to get deep into these words are also very important for us, because he's saying that just like any other science, they might throw some words, and if I don't know, I won't understand. Same in Vedanta is also like a science of inner self. That's why we need to know these words more deeply, you know. And each line of like science has their technical words. So these are the technical words in Vedanta, all these 6 things. And he was just saying that how many times these words are used in the common language and it loses its deep meaning. उसको ऐसे चलता फिरता meaning बोल देते हैं. जैसे इंडिया में आत्मा बोला तो कैसे उसके कितने सारे meaning है. उसकी आत्मा निकल गई ये वो, you know, but you know the real meaning of atma is actually that Brahman only. But so that's why it's very important to know this. I thought that he brought a very good point. And he said the same words like Brahman and Atma, they are so loosely used and it doesn't give the real meaning. So that's why we need to know. And he's addressing Krishna Bhagavan in this verse as Purushottama, best among all, the supreme person, you know. And then this word is going to come in chapter 15. And we will have a much bigger meaning over there because this is how it builds up. Yahan par aisa they say the few words and then we'll know even the bigger meaning of it. So when we come to chapter 15, just to give you an idea. And then Krishna Bhagavan had mentioned to him that, look, whoever knows Brahman knows, he's asking, Arjuna, that you said that they will know you, you know. And what Nikhilananji was saying, that how this Brahman word or Brahma word, Brahma, is very, very famous word, like in the Upanishads. Everywhere you will see this word. And it refers to that supreme reality. And there are many other words that have come from there. And you have heard of all these words like Brahma, Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, wale Brahma, wahin se aaya hai word, Brahma se. Brahmand. Brahmand is a whole cosmos. सारे ब्रह्मांड में ऐसा होता है, ऐसा लगता है. All these words have come. Brahman also has come from there because the one who is trying to know the Brahman is Brahman. That's one of the definition of Brahman. Brahmachari, जो ब्राह्मण को जानने के लिए कोशिश करता है उसको बोलते हैं ब्रह्मचारी. उसमें विचरण करता रहता है ब्राह्मण की बातों में. That's called brahmachari. You know. So that's how these words have come. And the root word he was explaining is called bruha. Bruha se brahma aaya hai. Bruha matlab 2 meanings are there. Ek to grow, you know, and another one is the big. The big. So जब big बोला ना worldly sense में, तो it's a very relative word. क्या चीज़ बड़ी है? कोई चींटी को देखो तो एक डॉग भी बड़ा दिखाई देता है, लेकिन फिर हाथी और भी बड़ा है, right? So ऐसे ऐसे करके, बट जो सबसे बड़ा हो, जिससे बड़ा और हो ही नहीं सकता, वो है the big. So you know, these are all things that we have to kind of absorb. But then we understand the glory of Bhagwan, you know. So the first question is that, hey, Kim Tat Brahma? What is that Brahma? Tat. And this Tat word is also a very powerful word because in Vedanta they use this word Tat. किसी को बोला ना वेदांत में तत् का क्या मीनिंग है, इमीडिएटली वो बोलेगा ब्रह्मन. That. खाली ऐसा उंगली का that means, हम लोग ऐसा वैसे भी बोलते हैं ना, भगवान ऐसे करेंगे तो ऊपर वाला. So there are so many things in there. Then he says Kim Adhyatma. What is Adhyatma? So and then we know that these are the terms that Bhagwan used himself in chapter 7. So he's just repeating it, you know. इसका मतलब क्या है, kind of thing, you know, he's asking. And he Nikhilananji was telling a little more detail about how these words are formed. So like Adhyatma, उसमें ना आत्मा है, आत्मा. Atma means the self. And उसमें adhi जोड़ा है, right? Adhi plus atma is adhyatma. That's how it goes. So adhi means Sanskrit में something that is related to it. So that's why when we were doing the definition of adhyatma earlier, it had so many different meanings, right? We went through the whole list because everything that related to me, because the God is expressing through me, that comes under adhyatma. So anything related to it. And then Nikhilananji was saying that how he was saying that Lord Krishna told him that one who knows Atman, means my own self, will also know the supreme reality. It's like अगर हम एक सूरज की एक किरण को समझ लेंगे तो सूरज को भी समझ सकते हैं हम लोग, right? Because उसी का हिस्सा है वो. Something like that we have to see. Okay? And then he asked, Kim karma purushottama? This word karma is also very popular. He was just saying, and we know, he said that it has been adopted by English dictionary also now. Because karma cafe, karma, everybody uses this word. Chahe uska meaning malum ho jaye. My karma, And he was saying that how in all the Eastern religion it is used. Buddhists, Jains, everything. And a little definition can differ, but we will be seeing the most amazing definition of karma by Lord Krishna in this verse, this chapter. We'll go in detail with what karma is, because when we think of karma, action. Krishna Bhagwan, जो definition दिया उसमें बहुत depth है कि किस चीज को कर्मा कहा जाएगा. So these are highly technical words that Arjuna is asking that I'm interested to learn now more. Okay, and then he asked that what is Adhibhutam? जिसको अधिभूत कहा जाता है वो क्या है? And then obviously we saw it's a Panch Mahabhut. It's not about bhoot pret wala bhoot. So कोई इसका संबंध नहीं है. They are the 5 great elements. And then this word has come from the word bhu or bhava. बोलते हैं ना, Saubhagyavati bhava. Bhava means to create something. That which is born or create, that's called bhava. उसहाँ से आया है word bhoot. That's very interesting from Sanskrit. And then he asked that Adhidevam, what is Adhidevam? किस चीज को अधिदेव कहा जाता है? That's how the question is. And Devam, we know that the word Deva means divine. Devata, वगैरह, or Devi, Devta, and all this word has come from illumination. That's another meaning. And then he asked Adi Yagna Katham Kotra. What is Adhi Yagna with respect to the Yagna? ये यज्ञ जो हमारी body में हो रहा है, because he says that in this verse, that what we perform with our body, with our senses and our 5 sense organs, जो हम लोग करते हैं perform, ये यज्ञ ये क्या है? कौन है ये? Actually क्या और कौन, ऐसे बोला उन्होंने. So these are the actions that we take, all the worship and ahuti that we give in the yagna, but अपनी body से भी हम जो action करते हैं उसको भी ahuti बोलते हैं in the Vedanta. So because one of the main thing that he asks is body से connected, yagna किसको कहते हैं? So these are the 6 aspects of reality or God. And just overall review is that in the previous chapter, Bhagwan told Arjuna that you should know me completely. If you remember the beginning of it, there were 2 words that you should know me completely without doubt. Asanshayam, the word he had used, and completely, samagram. Those 2 words are very important, because we have discussed that if you don't know Bhagwan in this way, there is a danger. You'll become fanatic and all those things. And all these things that you see people do negative, it's because they don't know Bhagwan completely. That's why he's telling him that you should know. So those 2 words are very important. Without doubt and samagram. And to know Bhagwan in this, you require these 6 factors. Coming back to that. And then now the last part is that Prayan Kale. At the time of Arjuna is asking this question, because what last chapter Krishna Bhagavan told Arjuna, that you can know me even at the time of death. So he said, what does that mean? That the seekers, the seekers who have controlled their mind, they have done their sadhana, they have done their yoga, वो कैसे जानेंगे आपको? और detail जानना चाहता है कि at the time of death, that how do they know? How do they realize me? And then what Nikhilananji brought a very, very good point. He said that actually हम लोग death के नाम पे ना सब घबरा जाते हैं और बड़ा negative सोचते हैं. इंडिया में तो ना कुछ डेथ के बारे में बात भी नहीं करना चाहते लोग, राइट? नहीं क्या शुभ शुभ बोलो कि मरने मराने की बात क्यों कर रहे हो? वेदांत में ऐसा नहीं है. Death and life is seen like as 2 sides of the same coin. So they don't feel shy about talking about it at all. So he actually said, Nikhilananji, death is a very interesting thing. Okay, so why it is interesting? Because he said that you should utilize it properly because it's an event in your life, just like a birth or marriage or some event. It's an event in your life that you should utilize it properly because everybody dies. किसी की शादी हो या नहीं ये पक्का नहीं है लेकिन जन्म के बाद मरेगा जरूर. So he's saying that why not make this use of this event, this great event he called, very interesting and great event. So he's saying in generally जब कोई जिसकी कोई डेथ बेड पे होता है तो आसपास के लोग है ना दूसरे टाइप का हल्ला गुल्ला करेंगे लाइक अरे इसकी लाइफ एक्सटेंड करो ये करो वो करो डॉक्टर्स ले जाएंगे इंस्टेड ऑफ द फैमिली ऑल यू आर ट्राइंग टू बिजी ट्राइंग टू मेक दैट पर्सन लिव अ लिटिल बिट लॉन्गर बट here Krishna Bhagavan is saying something totally different. I'm not saying don't do that, but there's got to be some balance in that, So he's saying that what Arjuna's question is that how when one should die, so at the time of death you will know Bhagavan. Abhi tak moksha nahi mila, wo time mil jaye. It's like make use of that event. So please tell me all these things. And then prayana kale, the word संस्कृत में ना कोई भी जगह प्र आता है ना उसका मतलब होता है कि वेरी वेल प्रकर्षेण इज द वहां से प्र आया है प्रकर्षेण मीन्स बहुत अच्छे से ओके दैट्स हाउ इट मीन्स so he was just saying that yan means to kind of go somewhere so prayan means बहुत अच्छे से चला गया वापस नहीं आने वाला तो he's saying कि हम लोग जब नींद में सोते हैं ना गहरी नींद में तब भी हम बॉडी को छोड़ते हैं एक तरह से सेपरेट हो जाता है हमारा माइंड और बॉडी से भी हम अलग हो जाते हैं लेकिन हम वापस आ जाते हैं राइट या कोई बेहोश हो गया या कोई ये हो गया तो वो दैट इज नॉट प्रयाण दैट्स ऑर्डिनरी गोइंग बिकॉज यू कम बैक प्रयाण मीन्स यू आर नॉट कमिंग बैक टू दिस बॉडी दैट्स व्हाट इट मीन्स दिस पर्टिकुलर बॉडी उसको प्रयाण बोला So these words when we think like that तो वो थोड़ा अच्छे से sync होता है हमारे में. So what Nikhilananji said such a powerful thing that he's saying it's a great opportunity to realize God, your death, and he's saying that the reason is because from one angle, if you think about this seriously, that you become detached naturally. Detachment, right? Because he's saying that it's like as though you drop all your baggage naturally. कुछ साथ में ले जाते नहीं सकते हैं, राइट? तो इसे कहीं वहाँ पर हम लोग को बैगेज क्लेम में वेट करने की जरूरत नहीं होती है. जैसे हम लोग कहीं जा रहे होते हैं ना, यात्रा कर रहे होते हैं तो बैगेज में खड़े हुए हमारा बैगेज कब आएगा. यहाँ पर यू डोंट हैव दैट प्रॉब्लम, तो जो छोड़ना है वो पूरी तरह से छोड़ दो. That's what he's saying. Because when you have desires and all, that's when you come back. Right? I thought he gave such a fantastic thing, So he's saying why? Because all the baggage is related to body only. If you think about it in this particular life, all our relationship, all our desires, and all our baggage or some attachments, let's call the baggage the attachment, is related to the body. Because if once you are gone, say you die, and even if you take birth somewhere else, your relationships are gone then, right? Of this, we don't want to think like that because we are so attached. हम सबको साथ में लेके वो तो नहीं हो सकता. So I thought that he gave us such a fantastic angle to think about, that when we drop the baggage right there and then. And that's a beautiful moment, he called, to do that, when we can come to know God. So with all this masala in our head, when we read, we will get it better. So these are the 7 important questions that he raised. And this entire chapter is to answer these questions. So in the beginning, he'll give some, some simple definition, but very deep, and we will churn upon them. And then he will elaborate to give the answer. So, Any question or comment on this?
I think like you said about, generally we think of when you say death, we think about the death of the body. And I think Nikhilananda ji also said that Pran Kale also means that don't think about the death of the body, but as soon as the vasanas, all the vasanas die, that's also considered as, that's when you get the...
Oh yes, I know what you're saying. So you're talking about the Jivan Mukti. Yeah. So see, this is what it is. Arjuna asked that specific question. You can take it both ways, because that's how Chinmayanand ji says. We are more obsessed with like the real body wali death, because हमको इतना fear वगैरह होता है उसका ना. So we हमको एक नया angle डाल रहे हैं कि उसको ऐसे मत देखो, उसको एक opportunity देखो तुम. So उस angle से. But what Sushil ji is saying is also very important. कि when we talk about death, there are the other aspect of death is जब वासना सारी खत्म हो जाए, उसको भी death ही बोलते हैं. You know? और जैसे कि दूसरे एंगल से भी हम लोग बोलते हैं कि जब कोई संन्यास लेता तो बोलते उसका दूसरा जन्म हुआ है. सो मैंने सुना है कि जो एकदम ट्रेडिशनल कोई संन्यास लेता है ना, उसमें वो लोग उसकी क्रिया कर्म वाला भी कुछ करते हैं वो लोग, कि भाई ही इज डेड नाउ टू द वर्ल्ड एज दिस पर्सन. बंधन, हाँ. तो वो मतलब कि आई एम नॉट गेटिंग द वर्ड कि उसका तर्पण वर्पण भी कर देते हैं कि भाई दिस गाय इज गॉन नाउ, नया पर्सन इज बॉर्न, right?
Christianity में
born again, exactly. So that connotation, you are right, is there also.
Yeah.
But to me, this Nikhilananji's, I never thought about death in the angle that he said. Take it as an opportunity, because we know that verse has come in Bhagavad Gita where Krishna Bhagavan says, till the end also you have an opportunity to get the moksha. You know? Like, and then in this chapter, he's going to tell you, and we discussed it, that how if you only think about God at that moment, you will get the moksha.
तो सारी लाइफ में भी सोचेंगे भगवान के बारे में, तब तो ये अंतिम बेला याद आएगा.
That's a logical thing. Lekin suppose with some God's grace and the help of your relatives, कि तुमने पूरी जिंदगी इतना नहीं सोचा, लेकिन लास्ट टाइम पे तुमने सोच लिया, तुम पार हो जाओगे. You know? So जिस कमरे में मरने वाले हो ना, सब लॉर्ड कृष्णा का पिक्चर लगता है.
बहुत से लोगों के लिए that's a problem also. वो सोचते रहते हैं कि आखिर में भगवान का सोच.
ट्रू. अब बोलेंगे भगवान अपने आप हिंट दे देंगे कि तुमको अगर याद करना है मुझे तो अभी से करना शुरू कर दो. You know? And he gives कोई बोलेगा कि भगवान का मैं काम नहीं करूं क्या? So he's going to say that, you know, अर्जुन को बात कर रहे हैं ना, युद्ध कर मेरे को ध्यान में रखते हुए. Because it's like not having the ego, that's another thing. कि मैं कर रहा हूँ, मैं इतना great हूँ, you know. That humility से if you say hey, भगवान मेरे से करवा रहे हैं, you know, something like that. That's what. So there are many things that go into it.
You know, another thing I was reading in this one was, karma as doing something means nothing. But once you put behind it that you are doing it for the good of everybody else, and you have no self-interest in
Correct.
it, then the outcome is different.
Absolutely. नहीं तो Swamiji was calling just, you know, sweat and toil. You don't get anything.
Yeah.
Like a majdoor you are doing and you don't get much result. You know? But the other person who does it with some very beautiful intention, so that's a real karma. So that's a definition is going to come to, right?
They also give one definition of karma, कि it's the sequence of an action, and then the sequence of it.
True. So that all already we did in chapter 3, 4 and all. Now he's taking you deeper. He's calling the creative force of Bhagwan as karma. So that means whatever you do in line with Bhagwan, that is real karma. Baki sab waste. You know?
बिल्कुल.
It's like a purusharth for what?
हाँ, मतलब वो पुरुषार्थ हो गया.
हाँ. So वो इस definition में उन्होंने encompass कर दिया कर्मा की definition में. अभी तक खाली वो technical definition बताया था. अब वो तुमको ऊंचाई पे लाना चाहते हैं इस chapter में. Because the whole idea is that you're connecting with the higher. You know, so not every kind of thing को हम कर्मा बोलेंगे. You know,
karma
that's,
because it purifies your mind.
yeah,
That's the idea. When you do something for selfless service,
right.
that purifies your mind. That's what they're basically. That's what it says.
Yes, all of you are bringing another angle, but that's what it is. It is absolutely, yes.
So it's without ego and without not having anything in mind. So both the things are there. Is that what it is? Because if you, as you said, keeping me in mind, right?
Mhm.
And that's what it is. That's karma. Otherwise, it's not karma. So that means that leaves out the ego
Yeah.
that you're doing with ego or without thinking of anything, but you're doing it.
But when you say
Was it
without
what-
thinking,
Without
you-
thinking, some things are automatic. I mean, like, you don't, yes, you say that the Lord is doing it, Bhagwan kar rahe hain.
right, I was going to say, even if it is automatic,
Automatic, वो कर ही रहे हैं क्योंकि हमारा हाथ तो चलेगा ही नहीं उसके बिना,
right.
right? वो तो कर ही रहे हैं. But at the same time, sometimes it becomes automatic that you don't think of it, like housework, sometimes in the kitchen, whatever. The thought is behind, but at the same time, it's not there.
Well, it is something like this. They always, that concept is a little hard to kind of understand what Krishna is trying to say. So what these swamis and all, they give you a hint. It's like, hey, I know that I'm a woman. I don't have to remember every time. I just know it. Something like that. So you know it. That I'm many kar rahi hu, Bhagwan kar raha hai, Bhagwan is always there, everything is Bhagwan. That's good enough. That's called,
Yeah, because you just take it.
Yeah, but if somebody doesn't know that, then they are going to be confused. Ki, I'm doing. That's when the ego rises. Actually,
What about doing your duty in life?
Yeah,
Where does that,
if you remember,
if I'm a mother, I do my duty as a mother. If I'm a father, I do my duty.
he's telling you to do that.
Yeah.
He's telling you to do your duty as best as you can, keeping that it is. I'm doing it for him, and he has put me in this situation.
But if I do all I can as a person, like if I'm a teacher, I do all I can as a teacher. I think I'm doing it the best.
So I guess, are you saying that even if I'm not thinking of that, hey, it is for, so when Bhagwan जुड़ा हुआ नहीं होता है ना उसके साथ, then it
और मेरे ख्याल में ऑटोमेटिकली भगवान जुड़ जाते हैं जब आप अपनी ड्यूटी करते हैं.
अगर कोई true, but all he's trying to say is that until you keep Bhagwan at the substratum of it, that thing is not going to happen. It's not.
outcome is
अगर
very
ईगो
different.
रहेगी उसमें तो कर्म
Outcome will be
बनते
different, huh?
जाएंगे. ईगो रहेगी तो कर्म बनते जाएंगे.
Right. तो वो
अगर हम पढ़ाएं भी किसी को
तो उस पर ईगो कहाँ से आई?
नहीं, जैसे हम माँ हैं और हम अपने बच्चे को बहुत अच्छे से संभाले, इट्स नेचुरल, नो? वो तो भगवान ने तुमको देन दी है
हाँ जी.
कि तुम अपने बच्चे को अच्छे से संभालोगे, नहीं संभालोगे तो यू फील गिल्टी. इट्स अ वेरी नेचुरल दिस थिंग. पर उसमें ये जानना, यशोदा माई को याद करना और ये जानना कि भगवान की शक्ति से ही सब हो रहा है. अगर हम चाहें भी तो हम बच्चे को नहीं संभाल सकते अपने आप. अगर मेरे को बीमारी हो जाए, कुछ हो जाए तो हम कहाँ संभालेंगे? भगवान की कृपा होगी तो ही वो काम भी होएगा.
I think I know what you're saying. You are saying, suppose if you take the equation out of Bhagwan
of it,
completely, and you
And
say,
try
"Mere ko,
to do the
acha,
best you
yes."
can.
Tell me one thing. No matter what you are doing, whether you are a professor and then you are a wife and when we are doing our work, if I don't have Bhagwan at all, if I completely take it out, things are not going to go as I want. Do you agree?
नहीं,
I may be doing best, but I'm going to come across a situation, मैंने इतना किया, मुझे बस यही मिला.
नहीं, पर भगवान का परसेप्शन भी हमारा यही है ना, जो परफेक्ट है. जब हम
नहीं, वो सब परफेक्ट ये नहीं बता रहे. वो बोल रहे हैं कि भगवान is at the base of everything. It's like I look at ray of sun and I'm denying the sun. How can I do that? That's what he's reminding you. That what you are तुम्हारी काम करने की शक्ति भी कहाँ से आ रही है?
He is the illuminator.
He is the illuminator. उसके बिना तुम्हारा कुछ अस्तित्व नहीं है.
अगर हम अपनी ड्यूटी परफेक्टली कर रहे हैं,
वो नहीं हो सकती परफेक्टली. वही मैं आपको बताने की कोशिश कर रही हूँ कि हमेशा डिफिकल्टीज आएंगी. और जो हम चाहते हैं वो नहीं होगा. आपके करियर में भी देख लो, आपके ज़िंदगी में भी देख लो, जो हम चाहते हैं वो होता है हमेशा. तो फिर मेरे को वो क्वेश्चन आएगा, अगर मैंने पूरा निकाल दिया कि सबस्ट्रेट में है ही नहीं भगवान. देयर आर पीपल, चार्वाकास, who believe that you just born and you have this body, you have this mind, you just do function with it and then you die and everything finished. ऐसे भी लोग मानते हैं, लेकिन फिर उनमें वो बैलेंस नहीं होता है.
पर एक तरफ से हम ये भी सुनते हैं ना, do your duty and don't worry about the result.
What does that mean though? Why do they say that? You tell me. Why should I not worry about my result?
Because the result is going to come automatically.
That's one thing, not in my hands. Because I am a very limited person, my buddhi is very limited. I will never know the scope of the whole thing. जब मैंने एक एक्शन किया, उसका क्या रिजल्ट, क्या अफेक्ट होगा, वो मेरे में शक्ति नहीं है मुझे जानने की. इसलिए रिजल्ट
बात है ना उमाजी, the definition of a perfect teacher, it is your definition. So you should not be defining that. If you do it for God, then there is no definition. Then it's limitless.
True, it is limited. But I think that I was trying to address her question that what you are trying to say is that there could be people in this world who will say, hey, that God doesn't exist, but I'm a good person, I'm not hurting anybody.
I'm not at all saying that God exists or not.
No, not you, a person. A person is doing their duty and all that. But अगर वो सबस्ट्रेटम को निकाल दो ना, तो कभी ना कभी हम लड़खड़ा जाएंगे, ऊपर नीचे हो जाएगा. This is like, holding on to something that will bring you back to balance.
Actually, ये बोलते हैं कि हानि लाभ, जीवन मरण, यश अपयश, विधि हानि, है ना?
Yeah, this is all from Geeta only.
That is Ramcharitmanas.
No, what I'm saying that they are the same topic is there. Those verses are there where exactly he said
it
it.
all tallies everywhere.
Yeah.
So that's what he's telling you. Basically, it's like knowing God means you will become an efficient person, you will become a balanced person, you will do your duties perfectly.
Okay.
That's what he's saying. If you don't have that, it's not gonna. And that all that is he's going to open up in chapter 16 when he's going to talk about Devi Sampati and Asurik Sampati. The people who deny this substratum, उनका वो कैसे सोचते हैं, फिर उनको कैसे problems आना शुरू होती हैं. And the people who accept God, as a substratum, उनका कैसे जिंदगी चलती है versus this,
So if somebody just does his duty, okay, he's doing it okay, that's fine. All I'm thinking is, okay, the results, when we think of something and do a duty, we do something, there are results. That person doesn't think of the results, okay, mil gaya, theek hai. But he's not going to go higher, not what the life is meant to be, what we are here for. That is not going to be taking place. Okay, kar liya, jo mila, so theek hai. Bas. But what we are trying to do, why we are born here, what is the purpose of life, that is not done then. So he is just completing some vasanas, he or she is going to come back again to complete some more till that thought arises that what am I here for? Who am I? Till that thought arises, then he'll start moving towards that. To me, it's that.
Yeah, that also that angle is very good. But I want to bring back this thing because we have already done this thing and maybe it's a good review. That when we constantly say, just do your duty, don't worry about the result. First of all, सब अपने दिल पे हाथ रख के बोलो, कोई भी काम मैं करती हूँ, I always want to know कि इसका क्या होगा, उसके बिना मैं क्यों करूँगी.
And if you want success,
So we have to forget about that, just the word meaning of it, that hey, don't worry about the result. That's not true. What is telling you a scientific fact? So ये नहीं कह रहे कि don't plan your thing. कोई भी चीज़, अभी मैं यूनिवर्सिटी में भी आप पढ़ाते हो तो you have gone there because you want something from there. You want, आपने जो विद्या ली है वो दूसरों को देना, वो भी एक डिज़ायर ही हो गई ना. So प्लानिंग के लिए वो मना नहीं कर रहे हैं. सोच के प्लान करो, गलत काम मत करो, जो पहले किया उसमें कुछ गड़बड़ हुआ है उसको ठीक करो. All that is called planning. So I am going to definitely desire something. But all he's saying that when you are acting after the planning, don't think about the result. पहले ही सोच के उसको खत्म कर दो, डब्बे को बंद कर दो, बिकॉज क्या रिजल्ट आएगा वो तुम्हारे हाथ में नहीं है. अब मैंने बहुत कुछ सोचा कि मैं ये करूंगी वो करूंगी और एंड में मुझे नहीं मिला, so then I'll get so disappointed. But then if I take it as a prasad, hey, this is what God's plan is, maybe there's something good of it, or maybe I didn't deserve it. I thought, सभी को लगता है कि I deserve everything. कौन है जो ऐसा नहीं बोलेगा मुझे सब कुछ मिल जाए, मेरे बच्चे भी बहुत अच्छे हों, मेरे को बहुत पैसे मिले, मेरा घर अच्छा हो, मेरे रिश्तेदार सब मेरे को प्यार करें.
Very true.
लेकिन the truth is that कोई प्यार करता है कोई नहीं करता है, whatever, so then the surrender bhav that you have, that's called not worrying about the result.
I have a question about, like, say that you have an idea to do something, and you're doing it because of, you think that, that will suffice for the greater good. But while you're at it, I'm not sure that I am, there isn't an ego that plays into the role, because you're thinking, if I do it this way, it will be better, or if I do this, then it's much nicer, or whatever. And then when the final product is there, 5 people come up to you and say, that's a really great job. It is very, very difficult to, at that time, say, I just kind of put it together. You actually are, I don't know, engaged in it? Is that the word that I'm seeking? You kind of accept the accolades, I guess, or whatever.
Oh, you mean when people praise or people
exactly.
It can be opposite also. But like मैं सोच रही हूँ मैंने बहुत अच्छा काम किया और बोले क्या करके रखा है?
Yes.
मैंने कोई खाना बनाया and I thought it's great and somebody says I hate it, Your children will tell you.
Yes, I know. Well, thank goodness they do.
Yeah, so Krishna Bhagavan is saying, as long as you have done your job completely, he says in Geeta and in Ramayana, you were saying that don't worry about that whether you get praise or not. Rise above it. Because दुनिया में कभी ऐसा नहीं हुआ है कि कृष्ण भगवान को भी लोग गाली भी देते थे, दुर्योधन जैसे लोग और वो लोग.
I think I'm more worried about the fact that somebody comes out and gives you accolades than I am about people giving you negative comments.
You should not.
Negative comments, you kind of have, it may burn you for a little bit, but you have a tendency to brush them off. But when you're praised, you have a tendency to wear that as a
crown on your head and dance around. Yes. No, all he's saying is it will come. When you don't accept the praise also, वो भी एक दूसरे टाइप का ईगो होता है. नहीं आई एम सो, मैं तो इतनी विनम्र हूँ, मुझे कुछ मत बोलो. कोई प्रेज कर रहा, थैंक यू बोल दो उसको. Don't make it like a big deal. That's what he's trying to tell you. Because
you should not be looking for praise.
Not looking, obviously, but what she's saying.
Not looking necessarily, but
But it makes you happy when somebody says. But you should not. You should not.
That's really a
If somebody praises you, you feel happy and just think of God as happiness. Then it's okay. That's how you look at it.
Because I remember when I started reading the Geeta Karma Yoga वगैरह हम पढ़ रहे हैं, तो I said, okay, let me put some karmas in my bank. So I started doing कुछ गुड किया इसके लिए या उसके लिए पता चला उन्होंने भी पलट करके गुड करना शुरू कर दिया,
तो ज्यादा ही बंधन हो गया.
हाँ, तो मैंने कहा ये तो निगेट हो गया, जो क्योंकि now I am getting back what I don't want back because I want it as in my karma bank. See what I'm saying?
True, because we don't understand that this is what it is. We have a limit. Not everybody can do everything.
Yes.
You see the news and people are dying somewhere, but you can't do much.
Can't do it for
so
everyone.
Whatever Daira Bhagwan has given you as your karma kshetra, you do it over there.
Achha.
Because that is also part of the universe only. It's like if you put one drop of water in an ocean, at certain micro level, the whole ocean is increasing. See what I'm saying? So when people forget that, they want to karma yoga or something. Oh, I have to go into this hospital and I have to take care of the sick, and फिर वो खुद ही sick हो जाते हैं. See what I'm saying? Hey, and whatever you're thrown in your lap, Try to do the best. That's what the karma yoga is. Not chasing this or chasing that or koi praise kar raha hai. No, please don't say that. Hey, why can't you say thank you and finish?
वो भी तो भगवान की शक्ति से हो रहा है, क्या अपनी शक्ति है?
Because I remember.
अब यश वाली बात आ गई ना, यश तो यश भी भगवान के
Yes.
तो
दोनों में कूदो मत. कूदो मतलब उसमें कूदो मत और इसमें डिप्रेस मत हो.
हाँ, ये मुश्किल काम
That's
है.
what it is. Yes.
If somebody is constantly
Because I think in one of the satsang, one person was saying, मैं सबका बहुत करता हूँ, like, but कोई मेरा करता है ना, मेरे को अच्छा नहीं लगता है. That's the person. It sounded very noble.
Yeah,
you know what the person said, answered. We don't think about it. He's saying that let them do it. They get happiness for doing it. So accept it. Why are you saying that? See what I'm saying? When you do something for somebody and they are trying to do, then don't run away because you're hurting them. They are trying to do something good and say, no, मुझे तो चाहिए ही नहीं. We don't think of it that way.
We don't think of it that way.
क्योंकि उसको भी आनंद मिल रहा है तुम्हारा कुछ करने के लिए, तो उसको करने दो और एक्सेप्ट करो उसको. So you have to have that balance कि तुम भी करो और कोई कर रहा है तो उसको भी एक्सेप्ट करो. So.
जो गुरु होते हैं और उनके लिए जब लोग कुछ लेकर जाते हैं या उनके लिए आरती उतारते हैं, they accept it.
Exactly.
For the reason
Yeah.
that he is getting pleasure out of doing it.
Right, there you go. So that's why we have to think of that. So अगर आपने किसी का कुछ किया और वो आपका कर रहा है तो ठीक है. अगर आप you don't have to go out of your way and to do that, but in the normal course of thing, if you're doing something and they are returning out of whatever, it's okay. Yeah, you don't need to get disturbed about that.
But I think जैसे घर के उसमें मीरा if you're saying, आपके घर के वातावरण में if you're doing, तब तो ठीक है क्योंकि आप वो सब आपके कर्म प्राणी हैं. But if you're going out of the way, जैसे किसी ने हमको डिश बना के दिया, हमने उससे ज्यादा अच्छी डिश बना के उनको दिया, फिर उन्होंने ज्यादा अच्छी और बड़ी डिश हमको दिया, तो then it will become a headache.
Where do you stop? नहीं, वो खतरा मेरे साथ है ही नहीं. I'm not such a great cook. जो दूसरा अच्छी डिश उससे अच्छी बना के दे रहा है, I'll say thank you, क्योंकि हम उतने अच्छे कुक नहीं है. So
नहीं, I think that उसके इंटेंशन पे चले जाओ ना कि हम लोग को are we looking for praise or something or what, या मेरे को सचमुच में बनाना चाहती हूँ. See, अगर किसी को सचमुच हम प्रेम से बनाना चाहते हैं, हमको बहुत आनंद मिलता है उसमें. Like कोई अभी मेरी सिस्टर आएगी तो she loves this, I want to make this. I don't mind sacrificing my sleep or something, yeah. That's what you have to look at. Are you doing out of joy or are you doing out of because I have to show, oh my God, उसने किया तो मेरे को तो headache हो गया, मेरे को तो करना पड़ेगा.
Actually, everything अगर हम लोग joy से करें तो everything is yoga and it's fun.
Right. So that's how you have to look at it, yeah.
I think
Okay.
Nikhilanda gave one example of that. He says, think about this thing, there are 20 people, they need some, they're hungry. One is you can give somebody, hey, give $50, go buy them food. Other is you buy the food yourself and go and serve them. See when you get more satisfaction.
Yeah.
But there's a difference.
Right.
You're giving a little bit of yourself.
It gives you satisfaction, it makes you more, your mind more happy, or you can glorify, I don't know, but that's what one of the examples Nikhilanda.
No, it's a nice example, yes. So then that'll give you an answer, yes. And nothing is done without sacrifice. Like we have already done those verses that, in chapter 3, Yagna spirit. यज्ञ में there means पूरा जिंदगी अपना यज्ञ स्पिरिट में बिताओ, बिकॉज अदरवाइज बंधन हो जाता है. और यज्ञ स्पिरिट क्या है, उसमें दो चीज़ का फैक्टर है उसमें. वन इज सैक्रिफाइसिंग समथिंग एंड हायर ऑल्टर. यू आर डूइंग फॉर अ हायर पर्पस एंड यू हैव टू सैक्रिफाइस. जैसे द होल यज्ञ का होता है ना, उसमें आहुति डालते हैं, राइट. सो पर्सन हु डजंट स्वेट एंड टॉयल, दे कैन नेवर गेट द एंजॉयमेंट. किसी को तुम फ्री में देते जाओ वो he will stop enjoying it. थोड़ा पेन मिल करके कुछ मिलता है ना, then we have a more appreciation.
तो आपकी बात तो जो सुशील जी कह रहे हैं एक ही बात वो भी कह रहे हैं, जैसे पर्सनल पार्टिसिपेशन हो गया ना, when you are giving the food to somebody rather than just handing out some money. उसमें आपका अपना participation होगा.
Right.
That's
He's
what
doing a
it-
little more effort. Yes.
Bilkul.
Yes. But he's getting more joy out of it. That's what he's
Exactly.
saying. That's exactly right. Okay. All right. So let's go to. We'll read this introduction because that's very, very nice. Right. So let's see. It starts with over here.
Yeah.
Do you want to start this?
Yeah, it's there.
Imperishable Brahman. Introduction. To discriminate between the higher and the lower nature of the eternal self and identifying with the higher, to play at will with all freedom and joy in the fields of its lower manifestations, is to be the perfect man of wisdom, a god upon earth, ever liberated from the threats and sorrows of the finite. The aim of Vedanta is to carve out of ordinary folk such blissful man of wisdom. In the earlier chapter, therefore, a vivid description of both knowledge and wisdom was elaborately given.
So here is the answer to your question over here. That, यहाँ पर बोला है to discriminate between the higher and the lower, because you talked about his two nature. One is its perishable nature and one is that imperishable. So he's saying that once you know that substratum, then you can play in the field. It's like a perfect example I will give you, that when somebody plays a role, an actor, he can only play that role very well if he knows who he is. अगर वो बह गया उस में और somewhere he forgets, he won't be able to, वो दुखी हो जाएगा. So that's the thing. That अपने को लगता है कि खाली मैं अपनी ड्यूटी कर लूँगी तो बहुत अच्छा होगा, लेकिन वो कर नहीं पाएंगे हम लोग अच्छे से. That's the whole thing.
Continuing the idea contained in the previous chapter, herein Krishna starts with the glorification of the man of wisdom and declares that he is perfect not only because of his special knowledge and experience of the self, but also because he becomes thereby a perfect, well-integrated personality at all levels of his existence and contacts of the world. He easily proves himself to be a man of godly efficiency and balance in all situations and conditions, at all places and times.
So see how powerful this statement is, that this man of wisdom, that Krishna Bhagavan is calling man of wisdom. Baki, we saw that what is the true definition of his, that he not only has special knowledge and experience of the self, so he knows, what that Brahman is, but he becomes well-integrated personality at all levels of his existence. That can only happen when that foundation is there, otherwise it's not going to happen, this well-integrated personality. And then there are three things he said: balance in all situations, condition, and at all places and all times. Whether it's a battlefield or it is something else. नहीं तो कोई बोलेगा कि how can you talk about Vedanta in the battlefield?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But they are. That's what it is, that in all situations and all that, and you can only do it when you have both the aspects covered.
A mere theoretical explanation of Vedanta, as given out in the literature of the Upanishads, cannot encourage a man of action, as Arjun is, to live up to it. Therefore, it has to be explained how a man of self-realization, when properly trained and when his spiritual practices are intelligently continued, becomes a dependable man of sure success in all the fields of his activity, be it on the battlefield or in the court of the enemies or on the Yamuna banks, whether engaged in grazing the cows or pleasing the gopis or tearing the throat of the tyrant Kans.
So he's just telling Krishna's life.
Yeah.
He had to do so many different things. So main thing what he's trying to say over here is that Arjuna was a man of action. तो उसको खाली कोई थियरी बता दो ना कि भाई ऐसा होता है तो वो नहीं मानेगा. मेरे को बताओ वहाँ पहुँचना कैसे है. किसी को कोई डेस्टिनेशन बता दिया और ये नहीं बताया कि मैं ऐसे जाएं कैसे, तो फिर क्या फ़ायदा. It's just a dream, right? That's what he's telling you, that here Krishna Bhagwan is going to tell him that how to get this thing done. And then he's saying that the success is when you are balanced in whatever you do. And then he gave all these examples, right? कृष्ण भगवान बैटलफील्ड में भी वो बैलेंस रहते हैं. एनिमीज के कोर्ट में गए थे ना वहाँ पर, शांति दूत बन के अकेले गए थे. और यमुना फिर कोई बोले, एंड देन लुक एट द कॉन्ट्रास्ट, बाकी वो बंसी बजा रहे हैं और गोपिकाओं के साथ खेले. हर जगह में ही इज इंटीग्रेटेड पर्सनालिटी, यू नो. सो दैट्स व्हाट ही इज ट्राइंग टू टीच अर्जुन टू बिकम.
Only integrated person can also be defined who has the discriminating powers.
Yes.
100% of the time.
And also he is everything is in line. Integrated मतलब सब कुछ एक हो गया हो. उसका मन, वचन, वाणी, एक्शन सब एक है. हम लोग का क्या है कि डुअलिटी होती है हमारे में, इसलिए स्ट्रेस होता है कि हम सोचते कुछ और है, करते कुछ और है. राइट.
वो बात है ना कि जैसे आपने कहा GPS, you can take it as guru positioning system. तो हम GPS में एंटर तो कर देते हैं डायरेक्शंस,
फिर अपनी चलाते रहते हैं,
फिर अपनी चलाते
फिर सब गलत होता है.
फिर हम कहते हैं कहाँ पहुँचे.
Yeah. So I think integrated personality is a very interesting thing that तुम्हारा सब लाइन में हो जाए, but उसका जो बॉस है वो आत्मा रहे. That's what it's trying to tell you. Or like even if you look at your, suppose अभी आत्मा is out because that's too far between the indriyas, our indriyas, mind and intellect. When I say mind and intellect, mind is the lower mind, जिसमें desires होती हैं, ये होता है. Intellect is with decision making faculty in us, कि भाई ये करना चाहिए या वो नहीं करना चाहिए, right? वो सब जब एक लाइन में होता है ना, तभी कोई अच्छा इंसान बनता है. Because अगर तुम्हारा बुद्धि कह रही है मत करो और जाके तुमने कर दिया, that's not integrated personality.
एक और बात है ना मुझे, between mind and intellect, who is the boss?
Intellect should be the boss.
Intellect should be
And purified intellect is that God only. So then you know the whole sequence.
Anytime you are listening to the mind, you are doomed.
Oh, you are doomed. And if you listen to Indriyas, हम सब हॉस्पिटल में पहुंच जाएंगे.
India are slaves to mind. That's the problem.
इंद्रिया बोलेगी और इंद्रिया को तो सेटिस्फाई कोई करके नहीं सकता.
But the vasanas, get you so much. Do you know what is right? But the vasanas.
Yeah. I mean, there was a question by Arjuna in chapter 3. He said, "What is that force that makes me do the wrong thing? Can you please tell me?" Because हम लोग करना चाहते हैं कुछ चीज़ और होता कुछ और है. So he said that it is the desire in you. Desire overpowers it, and when desire doesn't get fulfilled, it becomes anger. Anytime we get angry, उसके पीछे हमेशा desire होती है. Even with our children, when we get angry, because we want them to behave in certain way.
Yes.
So much man with no desire is equal to God.
True. But that is a very...
Man without desire is a dead person.
No, but I was going to come to that. This is the problem. We cannot imagine that state. Because immediately we will think like what he's saying. Hey, what do you mean by not desire? So what is it? Divinize your desire.
Yeah.
Because then you will learn how to get out of it.
But I was reading someplace that if you really want to liberate yourself, you should not even be desiring to go to a moksha.
Because it is not in your hand. Again, it comes to the same.
Right.
How can I decide कि भाई
Decide नहीं, desire ही नहीं करो.
हाँ, desire तभी होती है ना कि हाय मुझे मिल जाए लेकिन वो I don't know how to say it. It's like you don't even know when it's going to come, so leave it then. That's why you drop it.
Yeah.
That is at a later stage.
So I think at the part-
iron chains है, iron को golden chains बनाओ. Golden chains is that the only desire, and then the golden
I
chain
see.
will live.
Yeah.
So slowly.
No,
but
I
that
feel
comes
it.
afterwards.
Yeah.
That's
Because
the
we
last
cannot
time.
imagine a situation without desire as long as we are in the body. कोई बोलेगा कि भाई ये saints and sages को क्या भूख नहीं लगती है क्या? So of course they have those bodily desires are there.
In your last minute, if you are fortunate enough to drop the desire and just utter God's name, that will liberate you, isn't it?
yes, but truly खाली खाली ऊपर से बोलने से बना ओ मेरे को तो कोई डिजायर नहीं है और अंदर भरी पड़ी है डिजायर ऐसा भी होता है ना
But it's a lifelong practice.
right because we have this fear. The reason we desire, we have a fear, if I don't get this I won't be happy.
And then it's the opposite is true. As you drop desires, you
get more happy. जितनी डिजायर कम होती है उतना पीसफुलनेस होता है. तभी ये लोग जो एकदम सन्यासी हो जाते हैं ना वो उनके पास कुछ पोजेशन ही नहीं होता है. Right? They have just their clothes and their one little kamandalu. True sannyasi I'm talking.
And you take an example of an infant. He's very happy in a small room versus a very big mansion. He doesn't care.
He doesn't care at all. He just wants to be mommy's lap or daddy's lap or somebody who loves him his lap.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely they don't care. And even all the toys. I keep telling my daughter-in-law loves to buy toys. And I said, he doesn't care. He wants to play with my bartan and all these other...
बोतल का ढक्कन
हमारे घर में आता है तो वो उसको 2-3 चीजें पर तो देखता भी नहीं है वो टॉयज वो इसके तरफ so that's what it is. You're right. We have some crazy idea about what makes us happy or what will make other people happy also, and sometimes we push our desire on other people. Don't we do that?
Oh yeah, parents do that a lot.
As a mother, you do that very often.
Yeah.
And that is the worst thing you can do, really. To impose our desire on the children.
Because they have their own journey.
Right.
You don't know.
Exactly.
You like A, they might like Z.
Desires come in such
Minute
ways that you don't even know.
Yes.
Only when it comes you realize, oh, still got this.
I think that what it is that we have not come to the stage where we realize that everything is one only. So what are you going to desire then? That whole Upanishad starts like that, Ishavasya. Isn't that it's pervaded by everything, And then the other aspect of it is somebody can be a billionaire and can be not have a desire also. Just because he made a lot of money doesn't mean that he made it because he wants to hoard things and all that. It was in his product and it happened. So, So.
राजा जनक के लिए कहते हैं ऋषि और राजा दोनों.
Okay.
In the preceding chapter, a mere mention alone was made that there is a practical aspect of Vedanta apart from its theoretical literature, but no definite technique for practically carving out the ideals of Vedanta had been given there. Here, however, the technique has been completely and fully explained, and the relationship between the eternal spirit and the delusory realm of names and forms, the lower Prakriti, has been clearly indicated. Exemplary definitions indicating the inexpressible, the absolute truth, are found in this chapter. Only a dull nitwit, vainly laboring to follow the path of pure reason and discrimination alone, will feel not thrilled or uplifted to a divine height of inspiration by this chapter.
So he's just telling you, Swamiji is telling us that in the previous chapter, कोई definite technique नहीं बताई थी कि खाली theoretically बताया था कि भगवान क्या है वगैरह and all that. In this chapter, he's going to actually give some hints on how to achieve that. That's number one. And then he's saying that don't go by, just pure logic and all, because there are plenty of people like that. ऐसा तो हो ही नहीं सकता, ये कैसे, ये है वो है, so you have to go a little bit beyond that intellect, that अभी वो इसमें आने वाला है तैत्तिरीय उपनिषद में, that what is a spiritual heart, you have to have certain divine emotions connected with, तभी वो समझ में आता है, ये खाली logic का विषय नहीं है, that's what he's trying to say. If you go with pure logic, because they'll say ऐसा कैसे हो सकता है, you will see. And then other thing I wanted to tell you is that before we jump into the actual verses, that it's a mystical language also. So you cannot take the literal meaning, because it will be a disaster if you take a literal meaning, because there are a lot of it's a subtle subject, सूक्ष्म बोलते हैं जिसको, और mystical language किया है, तो उसका जो सही meaning है ना, वो ये महात्मा लोग ही दे सकते हैं हम लोग को. अगर हम लोग खुद पढ़ेंगे तो हम लोग उसका पूरा उल्टा बना देंगे हम लोग. You know?
That's why they said a guru is necessary.
Yeah, this cannot be done. If we didn't have Chinmayananji's commentary and all the people Mahatmas have done and Shankaracharya ji and all that, that's why they.
And for us, you.
Exactly.
I'm saying exactly what they are. I have not put
No,
even
but-
one
but-
drop of my own stuff.
I know, but even then,
But God is working through you.
Yeah, that you can say that because I think I've worked with children so many years, so I kind of my own teacher she kind of trained us how to deliver this to the children, because children तो 2 minutes में ऊपर मतलब they go over their head, they will not even listen to you if you guys start giving them lectures and थोड़ा science लाओ थोड़ा ये लाओ थोड़ा बोलो तो उनको लगना चाहिए हाँ इसमें दम है इस बात में. That's the main thing, So that's what. Otherwise, you can just read Geeta and, to me, this is the most important thing. तो वो ऐसे एकदम सिंक हो जाए हमारे में, तो ये सब लॉजिक वगैरह से थोड़ा सा और कहानियों से ये सब होता है, right? Yeah.
The last chapter concluded with a statement that the man of wisdom not only realizes the absolute essence that sustains the world, but that he also at once comes to master the world of objects, the organs of perception and action, and the instrument of comprehension, so that he proves himself to be a dynamic doer, ever carving out enduring successes everywhere. Herein, this idea has been made more and more clear by Lord Krishna with his explanation. When once we know the ocean, the waves, the wavelets, the foam and the lather are all known by us. Similarly, the self is the reality on which all actions, the instruments of action, and the world of perceptions are superimposed, and therefore, by knowing the self, everything is known.
So he gave, what a beautiful example he gave. That
Wow.
when you know the ocean, you know everything that is in
Yeah.
you. So that's what he's saying. And then again, he's saying over here, the absolute essence that sustains the world, he knows that. And then he knows the world of objects also, दूसरी तरफ. Okay? And the organs of perception and action, जो हमारे कर्म इंद्रियां हैं, हमारी इंद्रियां हैं, वो कहाँ से आई हैं, and all that. And the instruments of comprehension. Instrument of comprehension is our intellect, discriminative power that we have. He understands everything. But this last paragraph, it is how beautiful it is, and we understand why. And that's why I was coming up with another example, Asha ji. You were saying, okay, suppose somebody does their duty and all. No, that's very good. It's something like I have this electrical equipments, and I have no comprehension of the electricity. तो फिर क्या होगा? जब next time पे electricity out होएगी, तो I will say, oh, this thing is gone. This is dead, but actually it's not, just the switch is off. Similar thing that if people who deny this substratum, कहीं ना कहीं they will face a wall.
नहीं मैं deny की बात नहीं कर रही. I was just saying कि if you do, like you're almost perfect in your duties.
You will become perfect if you don't forget who you are. That's what Krishna Bhagavan is saying. If you forget, the moment you forget who you are, that ego will start rising. In your job also, in your duties, ego will start rising.
This is actually what she said, is that a lot of people believe in that way. That, hey, I'm doing my duty, I'm giving this dhan and all that. What more do you want? So a lot of people think in that.
But we are on this table. We are not lot of people.
And also, I'm thinking that automatically, I'm a person who believes in a higher power.
Right.
And if I'm doing perfectly my duty assigned to me.
But it's
Because
not
you are
exactly-
believing in higher power, it gives us the ability to do our duty perfectly.
We are forgetting that part.
Yeah. अगर मैं कल को मैं भूल जाऊं, तो कहीं ना कहीं मैं फिसलूंगी फिर. कुछ ना कुछ होगा अगर.
Where are you getting the thoughts that I should do my duty perfectly? Where is it coming from?
Good question. See, he's taking you to the
That's true.
Yeah. No, these are, whatever you asked is like you said, that there are so many people who are like that, but the people who completely deny, and actually Nityanand only said that. He said जो नास्तिक लोग होते हैं ना,
नहीं, नास्तिक नहीं।
न सुनो तो सही, जो नास्तिक लोग होते हैं वास्तव में नास्तिक नहीं होते हैं, बगैर वो लोग फ्रस्ट्रेटेड होते हैं कि भी मेरे को कोई आंसर नहीं मिल रहा है. You know?
Some of those people who say they are Gnostic are more spiritual.
True, because they have not gotten the right answer. और नास्तिक, हाँ, नास्तिक तो यही बोलेगा ना कि कौन सा भगवान, क्या भगवान, बिकॉज अगर भगवान का रूप इतना बड़ा बिगाड़ के हमारे सामने रख दिया तो फिर वो डिनाई करेगा, नंबर 1. एंड नंबर 2, हम किसी भी चीज को डिनाई कर दें दुनिया में, क्या हम अपने आप को डिनाई कर सकते हैं? ये प्रश्न पूछो सभी से. सोचे कि ओके, मैं अपने आप को डिनाई नहीं कर सकती, लेकिन मैं कौन हूँ? Oh, I know my name. But my name was not there at a certain time. And tomorrow if somebody takes my name away, I'll still be that person. So somebody said, तेरा नाम नहीं है, ये उम्र नहीं है. I still change me. So then these people who say कि I don't believe in God, first question we have to ask, do you believe in yourself? Where did you come from? They're just telling you the source you came from is God, that's all. You don't like the word God, don't call it God. Give it some other name. You know? तुम अपना दे दो. दुनिया में कौन होएगा जो बोलेगा मैं नहीं हूं? So when
इसको नास्तिक नहीं बोलते, they call them agnostics. Agnostic says they will say yes, there is some power there, but it's totally unknown. We cannot.
And what they are saying is true. Even Krishna Bhagavan is saying it's unknown. Right? That's another very interesting thing. Krishna Bhagavan ने, he already said कि मेरे को कोई जान नहीं सकता, लेकिन मैं तुम बन सकते हो, मैं जो हूँ, यही बोला ना उन्होंने. You can become that Brahman. You cannot know that Brahman. Once you become, then you already know. So he has answer to that also. That if you think there is something that I don't know, yes, as long as I am this jiva, I will never know. I can just imagine or something.
Because there are, that question comes to, I think it came to my mind, maybe others, कि कृष्ण भगवान गोपियों के साथ क्यों खेलते थे? Because he was so divine that was just a game to enjoy, nothing more.
Well, the thing is that if you go in the Puranas, who were those gopis? That's the question. They were all the Rishi Munis.
Oh.
Yes. The Rishi Munis ने उन्होंने प्रार्थना की कि हम लोग को प्रेम एक्सपीरियंस करना है. तभी वो सारे ऋषि मुनि गोपी बन के आ गए.
So Krishna Bhagwan knew that they are.
Oh yes, they knew 100%.
He knew which one gopi which is.
Yeah. In fact, there is a कहानी कि शिव भगवान गोपी बने, गोपेश्वर जी बोलते हैं उनको. ये लोग इतने मजे करें, मैं भी एक्सपीरियंस करना चाहता हूँ. और जब वो महारास होता है ना, तो उसमें each gopi has a Krishna to him. ऐसा नहीं कि भाई कृष्ण भगवान सेंटर में. No,
each gopi is dancing with Krishna.
Yeah, so they get, because they were explaining this concept that when each person can experience that Brahman and it's complete. It's not like you're sharing that. We have a hard time understanding that concept, but that's how it is. So that Maharaj ka, it's a very, very deep meaning. Right? But we see it upar se, but, and then there was another, I love that Drishtant, that they were all these married women, right? And they were much older than him. But they wanted to experience, this joy. So they would keep coming back to Krishna. And वो सास गुस्सा कर रही है, husband नाराज हो रहा है, ये वो है. And the Krishna wants to, मेरे पास क्यों आई हो? जाओ अपने पति के पास जाओ, अपने उसके पास जाओ. Then they said कि अगर कोई चित्र हो हमारे पास और असली पर्सन आ जाए तो हम असली के पास जाएंगे, चित्र के पास जाएंगे. तो बोले डांटने दो हमको, कुछ भी करने दो, हमको तो इधर ही आना है. He was just like a little young boy. But they just wanted to be with him. That's the whole concept.
Experience the real love.
Yes.
And the lesson for everyone, all of us, is that वो जैसे गोपी के साथ, हर गोपी के साथ कृष्ण खुद डांस कर रहे हैं, उस तरह से आई मीन ही इज, everyone can have complete this thing, union with Krishna. ये नहीं कि वो राधा के हैं या उसके हैं.
Right.
Each person
is
can
complete.
do
That's
that.
the
Yeah.
whole thing. Yeah. And the only time he disappeared was जब उसको अभिमान हुआ. There was another story in Bhagavatam that Krishna loves me so much. Radha को ऐसा कुछ हुआ. Boom, he was gone. And then he only came back when she realized the oneness of him. Yeah. So anyway. Wow.
That means to know completely, you have to know the substratum and you have to know the world, both the things. That's when you
To know the world,
because
that it
that's
is-
what he explained in the
Yes.
last one. That's
Know the
right.
world. The world is a changing part of God. That's what. That's
Yeah.
going to be explained here.
Yeah.
Kshara and Akshara.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kshara is something that constantly modifies and changes. So he has two aspects. So
It's
we should-
Shara and Apara. that's
Yes,
what
same
it
thing.
is.
So I think.
One new meaning today is Madhusudan. Generally it's said, so far what I knew was that Madhusudan was a Rakshas. That Krishna is killer of that.
Right.
But today you told the new meaning of this thing.
Because-
He's a killer of the vasanas.
Yeah.
That's something new.
Yeah. So because he's a symbolic. Rakshasas are all symbolic that we have in our own mind.
But this is good meaning.
Yeah. Because usually हम लोग मधु हमेशा इसलिए white कि हनी को क्यों बोला है कि खराब चीज क्यों है, कि हनी को क्यों मार दिया?
Yeah, it is sweet.
I was thinking of one more thing. Why would people name their children Maya?
Because Maya is a divine thing too. We think it, how? Because it's a Shakti of Bhagwan. See, we went through
देवी
it.
की शक्ति है।
हम लोग माया बोलते हैं तो हम लोग उसका नेगेटिव नहीं, अगर उसके चक्कर में फंस गए ना
Yeah.
तो फिर वो
तो
नेगेटिव
उससे
है,
मुक्ति भी ले सकते हो.
लेकिन वो तुम्हारा मुक्ति का द्वार भी बन सकते हैं, तभी देवी का रूप, राइट? हम लोग देवी की प्रार्थना इसीलिए करते हैं कि भाई जिसकी कोई हस्बैंड वाइफ है, यू कैन नॉट अप्रोच द हस्बैंड, सो यू विल गो टू द वाइफ, अरे मेरी थोड़ा लगा मतलब सिफारिश लगा दो,
तो हमेशा की बात है।
और ऑपोजिट भी हो सकता है. So Maya is his power. So that's why they call it. Mahamaya भी सुना होगा नाम.
Yeah.
Because without the help of Maya, Bhagwan cannot create.
Yeah.
Or the world won't come into a manifestation. So Maya, that's why. So अगर उस ढंग से देखो तो Maya is. And इसमें I think which word chapter was it? He said Mama Maya. मेरी माया है दैवी. Oh, we did those verses, right? उसमें 2-3 उसने adjective बोले थे भगवान ने. It is divine, it is mine. लेकिन खाली माया को पकड़ोगे ना फिर प्रॉब्लम.
सेम थिंग what we said in Geeta just now कि कोई भी कुछ भी सब शक्तियों के बारे में and then कि कोई भी कुछ भी करो तो भगवान अगर तुमको याद रहे कि उसकी शक्ति से हो रहा है तो तुम यार कोई बंधन नहीं, कुछ नहीं, it's just a play and you just
Right.
but you have to remind yourself every day. That's the only thing.
I mean, there was a couple of names at first I could not understand also. Like my teacher's name is Darshana Ben and her sister was Yachna Ben. Yachna means
Oh, yeah.
ऐसे
भीख
याचना
भिक्षा,
करना.
हाँ, भीख
Why
मांगना.
would anybody name कि भाई याचना कर रहे हैं? मैंने पूछा. Yachna means beg, to beg for something.
To beg.
Why do you want to become a beggar? Why do you want to name your child Yachna? He said, नहीं वो याचना क्या चीज की कर रहा है उसकी कदर होती है ना. तुम भगवान से अगर तुम उनका स्वरूप मांग रहे हो तो वो याचना बहुत अच्छी है. Right, what I'm saying?
Okay.
So ये वाला उस मीनिंग में है याचना.
एक्चुअली आई थिंक याचना ज्यादातर जब भगवान से हम कुछ मांगते हैं ना उसके लिए याचना.
लेकिन भगवान से भी क्या मांग रहे हो तुम? तुम लोग वो आर्थ हो, अर्थार्थी हो, जिज्ञासु हो, ज्ञानी. So he's talking about the highest yachna. So I said, okay, now I understand. So sometimes these names also. Okay, so I think let's close this and Taittiriya will just touch upon it so that, I don't completely forget about it. सर्वधर्मान् परित्यज्य मामेकं शरणं व्रज अहं त्वा सर्वपापेभ्यः मोक्षयिष्यामि मा शुचः हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरि ओम